Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Antique by CZT Kathy Barringer. This is a border tangle, or some people call it a ribbon tangle, or I started off calling them a line tangle. Whatever works for you, you may call it. But that just means it goes in a line, and you could use it as a border or a ribbon. All right, this one begins, and I'm going to go on the diagonal here, and just because I think I'll have enough room. So this starts off with a set of double lines. And one thing I found as I was playing with this, well, yeah, I was like, did I or didn't I? Yes, I did. Is you either have to make your two lines kind of narrow, or make your make the next step bigger. That's what I was thinking. Did I find or didn't I find? I kind of found two things. You either do one or the other. So what I had done as I was playing with it, I was making these too wide, and then the next step, which is essentially we're going to make a row in the middle of seed shapes, and I was making those about how I would regularly do it, but then subsequent steps, it just is like, okay, well, that didn't quite work, but, I mean, it still looks good. It's just, if I want it to match what, Kathy has, then I need to do it differently. So, next step, as I mentioned, are seed shapes. Now, a seed shape is basically, a set of curved line, two sets of curved lines, back to back. That's how I like to think of them. So I'm going to attempting to go down the middle of this, and I'm going to start in the middle. And so I like it. So I'm doing, curve line one way and curve line the other way. So going up and then going, underneath. Now, if you need to, feel free to, if you want to do like a line like this, so just curved lines one direction, turn your tile, and then just finish them up. You can do that as well. I share that because I used to have a big problem doing seeds, and that's just how I did it, because it's a curved line. Because that's exactly what it is, a curved line going one way and then a curved line going the other way. And so if you need to separate them and do it that way, then do that if that works for you. Okay, next we're going to put little orbs right where these seeds meet. We're going to pop in some little orbs. And this one, we're going to do it on both sides. I need to have something that glues this down more than just my thumb, apparently. the tile. So I did them on one side, turn my tile, and then did them on the other side. And I'm trying to get them, as close in on that corner as possible. There we go. And there might be like a partial one here and a partial one here. Okay. And quite honestly, that looks kind of cool as it is. So there you go. You can stop it right there if you so desire. All right, that'll be a variation. All right, so then the next step. Now this one, I will tell you, on the step outs, my first thought, and actually my first step out, I was gonna split this up into two steps. On Kathy's step outs, she does not. But as I have mentioned before, just like doing these seeds, sometimes it helps. I know it helps me, and it might help others, and that's why I mentioned it. But because you're watching this video, you're going to have the secret. Because I did decide to put them both on, on the same step. Because essentially, we're going to draw a seed out to this side. But we're going to utilize the hollow bow technique, and it's not going to be complete. So I'm going to start, here's the beginning part. And you kind of want this seed to be almost as long as the one that you have. So kind of coming up to here, so it about matches. And then doing the other side and just bringing it in as you naturally would. So if you were drawing curved line, and it stops where that seed is. And we're going to do this on both sides. But I thought, well, you know what? It is a seed, and maybe I'm just overthinking things. I tend to do that. And, but when I thought about it as seeds, then it made it all better. Because in my second look at it, I was just like, you know what? That is exactly what those are. So, you know, why make more steps than necessary? And also, you know, this you could also do, even though these are coming out at an angle, you could, if you wanted to, if you need to, just do like this and dry them out. Then you could flip the tile so you're doing it the other side, you know, and making sure I'm doing that, yeah. You know, and come in. My pen is like kind of being sticky. Or I'm pushing too hard. That could very well be it. Oh, and I'm sliding off the screen. Apologize for that. So anyway, so I have gotten to the point where I feel, you know, pretty comfortable doing them kind of all in one step, like so. And I, you know, apologize for not mentioning this as I was doing it, but you kind of want that seed to touch the, you know, the outer rail, we'll call those. And that's where I ran into troubles, because I had made mine so wide, not really thinking, because, you know, when you're first playing with a tangle and you know, you see the step outs and you're just messing about with it, those are the things that you figure out as you're playing with it. And so it's all fine. You know, it certainly could be usable if you have a lot of space in between. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just like, oh, no, I do like this look of it, having it all kind of tucked in and compact like that. Now, the last step before we do some shading is we're just going to put some straight lines in here. So coming from, so basically at, you know, the tip of each seed, it's going maybe a smidge over halfway is what I have, but, you know, to your taste. And then on the side, so if we say if this seed started down in here, so I'm just drawing a little partial line on those. You know, and sometimes like on these, I'm kind of measuring. It's like, oh, I have about, you know, like I said, it's about halfway. So leaving just a little gap on those if you have trouble measuring that, eyeballing it. And for whatever reason, I'm going from out to it. You know, a lot of times when I do these lines, I go from, say, the center and I go out, but not this one, and I don't know why. It's just funny. And so there we go. Now for shading, I'm just going to put a little bit of graphite, just, you know, right in that center. And, you know, and I don't know about you, I'm going to say this, and then, you know, and somebody is probably already thinking it. I'm seeing like fireflies, all in a row. So when I first saw this, I'm like, gosh, that's what they look like. They look like little fireflies. I mean, they could look like fly flies, but fly flies are kind of yucky, so we'll call them fireflies. Well, and fireflies are, you know, they are kind of seed-shaped if you think about it, and I'm thinking about, you know, they do kind of have that line, so anyway, it's just really funny. But just adding some graphite in there and, you know, smudging it out just a bit, because you want to have some of the natural tile color showing, because that will make it effective. And that is essentially it. Now, you could, if you wanted to, I'm gonna draw another line here, because there were some interesting some variations, and I will put a link to her blog. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was Tangle Patterns, and on there also. And then you can see some of the variations that she had. And one was, like doing a seed, you could put an orb in between and go from there. But this one I wanted to share. Let's see. All right. And then orb, because it's kind of like, it's on the same lines. We would just be alternating let's see if I can do it and think about it. Okay. So seed. Well, let me just do one side. So alternating the direction of the seed. So these are all going one direction. So I have this one going off essentially to the right. And have one then go to the left. And so then this one is going to go to the right. And I'm turning my tile so it stays comfortable. And then, well, this one, there'll be one kind of going like that. All right. And now, okay. Then the other side, of course, will be the same as what, as what we did here. So then you don't really have to think about it. As much as just having to pay attention. Which apparently today, I just don't know. And, ooh, they got a little sloppy. Sometimes, if it gets a little sloppy, just go over all of it. So that way then your line size is the same. Okay, and then this one, this one is going to go off to here, and then there would be one coming that direction. And then the same idea, except I'm going to say, so we're going this direction, then this one would go this direction. Actually, it kind of makes it look like a little flower. And, okay, that one will be coming at that end there. Sometimes, when you go off the edge like that, then it just gets a little confusing. And then I think, I would still, personally, kind of shade in the same area, in the same way. It's just that now it's going to be aiming in instead of like this, which is just to one side. And so I am using little... I should be turning. It really works best when you have the point aiming, into the graphite and also aiming to the place that you don't want to go across. Yeah, so that looks neat as well. And there's, only our creativity stops us from, any other variations. Because I'm thinking you could do something, in the background, whether it's a color or, you couldn't really shade it, but, it's just really nice the way it is. And so I'm very happy to share that with you today. And if you liked it and liked the video, would love to have a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, would love to have you subscribe if you like the video enough that you want to see more. And then there's a little notification bell that's next to that subscribe button, and that will send you probably an email when I post new ones. That's my guess. I usually turn those things off. Actually, a lot of times I don't subscribe. When I go to YouTube, I look at the people that I'm subscribed to, and that usually they show up, and it seems like it defaults to, new content kind of rises up to the top. There's usually like a little blue dot or something next to the picture. And then I go through the new contents and stuff like that. So anyway, again, in the description box, I'll have a link to the step out as well as a link to the entry on Tangle patterns, so that way you can see that as well and have just as much information about it as you could ever want. And that's about it. And also ways to connect with me if you so desire. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.